I didn't plan on making this second part of this video until sometime tomorrow, but there are so many different aspects to what I've been talking about with curses. There are so many more things. You know, if I had a class that I could sit down and teach and just give you I can't do that. I only have these videos that I can reveal things to you, and I can do as much as I can. But there are a lot of people who have a lot more questions, and it's only right that you know the details of it. Okay, some curses, they speak, and how you see they speak is you can see by what they are doing, what they either accomplish or how they work against you, or even sometimes some people who are very spiritual can feel those things against them. Some of you that are not that spiritual, you have only evidence of what you can see with your eyes and hear with your ears. Now, I think her question is, I don't think I can answer it the way she was thinking, but I can answer it the way I think. Curses being words spoken by man, I told you, they're easy to break. Very easy. Any pastor at the altar can do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it. Because these are words that are spoken that come out of the heart of man that have no business being there, no business working in your life. And they only do if you allow them, because you don't recognize them or you're not close enough to God to know that these things are reality. But the curses that come from God are entirely different. They are in the generations through the disobedience of the people that are in your families. Not everybody commits the exact same sin. Not everybody does the exact same thing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and you're going to think I'm a little bit crazy to say this, but when I first got saved, I had a bombardment of so many things against me spiritually. I could feel these things because I'm called and I have this gift, but at the same time, I didn't know how to handle it, and there was nobody who could teach me. The only person that could teach me was the Lord, and He did. He took me aside and He taught me. I remember looking, and I was very early on into the Bible, and I saw written in that Bible almost every single curse in that Bible that came from God, where He had shown that the children of Israel did this, and this is what He did. This is exactly how God saw it and what God did. And when I saw that working in my life. I saw that working with this, working with that, and I couldn't believe it because I was guilty of none of it. But I couldn't understand how in the world could these things have power over me to bring all of this into my life and cause me so much pain and so much trouble. I didn't understand it then. And then the Lord, through the years, slowly began to teach me. And what He taught me is the past generations, all the way back to the Garden of Adam and Eve, are very real in your generations. And before anything becomes genetic, it always is generational, always. But it manifests in the physical body or manifests in circumstances, situations, You know, we're talking about deep stuff here. We're not talking about, well, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to pray and I'm going to get through this. We're talking about you searching out to understand how to be walk and talk free in God. And if you don't take the full course of it, you may not make it. Now, I have been able to pray with people to break a certain aspect of it. Just, and it changed your whole life. Believe me, just one prayer. Because when I talked to them and I could clearly see what the problem was, then I was able to pray according to that and break it. And it, like I said, it changed their whole life. But you're asking me to teach you the depth of everything, and I can't. Because, like I said, all of that stuff belongs in a book, and I don't have money to keep on publishing books. Uh, as a matter of fact, the publishers still, since 2018, have not given me one penny of royalties. Think about it. From 2018 until now, they haven't given me one penny, but yet I know a lot of books were sold. And they're doing nothing about it. I mean, you can see who my publishers are on because I've shown it on other videos. I know there's a lot of videos out there. Uh, some of those things will give you clues, but there are so many different ways. When you clean out the inside of the cup, that's one thing. But understanding how to clean out the outside of the cup is yet another. Unless you are intending to be a pastor or preacher or teacher, unless God has called you to that, you may not have to go through all of this. But those of you who are called in authority, you must, because you're not going to get anywhere without it. Well, you're going to have a certain amount. You may even elevate to higher calling and understanding, but you're going to wind up in a place of uh, falling into sin. What else can I say? Like I told you when I first got called, I told God not to call me because that one over there served him for 30 years and now he's doing evil. That one over there served him for how many years? That she did this after 25 years and says it's time to leave after being one of the closest walks with God. And after 25 years, ups and leaves, and it's only 2 weeks down the road, she's got a boyfriend. Because you do not say that God told you to do these things when actually He doesn't do that. I've been teaching about the husbands and the spouses, and the only thing that really saved me is whenever I thought to leave, God said, "Don't leave him. There will come a day where you will thank me. Don't." Well, not everybody could do that. Not everybody could withstand the heartache and the pain that you have to go through to some of these situations and circumstances. So I don't tell everybody, oh, stay with them, stick with them. I don't know. God told me personally. That was for me. It's not for you. Trying to help you to understand. I am only like a stepping stone. There's some stones that help you cross the creek. I am just a stepping stone to have you step here, here, and here to get to the other side. If you want to know more, and a lot of people do, they search out this and they search out that, which is all a good thing. But I'm not a scholar, and I never was, and I probably never will be. Although there are certain things that are slowing up my videos a little bit right now because I am studying them because they have a lot to do with things that happen in the spirit. And those are the deeper things of God that is my call that I will go into. And it's deeper things of God, even with the curses. Now, eventually, I probably will, before I pass through this life, I probably will write books. I probably will do more. But I can't do it right now. It's impossible. If the Bible says if people wrote down what Jesus did, it would fill volumes for the whole world, because that's how many different things he's done. So my advice to you is this: search out with God what belongs to only you. Don't search out what you can do and help others with, because you're going to enter into a realm you don't even understand. You can understand it for you. Just like I told you, I can understand it completely for me. I don't have any problems with it. I'm completely free of all of this because God came to me personally and gave it to me. Well, with you, I'm only touching on certain things. And I'm telling you, there are people who hate my guts for giving the truth out because they want it for themselves. This is age old, age old. This church, they broke off from this church and were worse. They protested this church, it was wrong, but they took their information and got worse. And then they broke off from this and went into the more spiritual. And when they broke off, they felt, each one of them felt they had it all. Each one of them believed they were the only true church, never realizing that if you thought this one was a cult, so is this one. Because it is not true that you are the only true church. Jesus Christ poured out, thank you, Father, his Spirit upon all men. When he came, you've heard the old song, the peace on earth, goodwill to men. He came to bring goodwill to men. He came to save them. He came to heal them. He came to deliver them. He came to do all those things. And yet man keeps on taking it only to himself, to want to use it to become somebody, to become, oh, I'm going to be the greatest preacher in the world because look who I'm following. I understand all that she's saying, and I'm going to become the greatest because this one doesn't know this, and that's, they all do it with that Bible because it's human nature and they won't let it die. The flesh has to die. Information is knowledge puffeth up. Information, and I'm filled with it and I know it. But information is not given to you for you to go and take and run with it. Because put out a video, and you know what everybody does with it? They take that little piece and they run with it, which is the same thing that many prophets do. God comes and speaks to them and they will not tarry and learn. And you see, it may take you years to learn how to get out of this because it just depends on how deep it was, but how deep you are into it. That's the problem. You. It's not the generations. It's not the curses. It's what you're going through here. Now, like I said, I'm only giving you a tiny, tiny bit of information. The way I said, I usually like to talk on the phone because I can see it and I can target it and I can break it for you. But you want to take it and learn how to do it, and that is near impossible. Because I'm not saying you can't learn from me, I'm only saying it may take you years. You cannot just up and say, oh, I got this information. I can do this with it. I can this and I can go and teach it and destroy yourself. I tried to tell the truth about this, that the Lord had told me to destroy what I had learned between him and I, because too many people are in a place that they want to take it and run with it. Just like prophecy. Prophets take it and run with it. They actually, like the woman that says, well, I knew that there was going to be a great explosion, a great disaster. God showed it to me. I got news for you. When you see something bad coming, it's for you to pray that it doesn't happen. It's all those people. My thinking is, well, if you knew that bad thing was coming, why didn't you pray it not happen? Why didn't you pray and ask God to intervene? Why didn't you fast and pray and cry out for mercy to all those people that were going to die in it? I don't have any understanding for people and what they think and feel. I have people right now who are studying things really of no importance. There are so many people on the earth who are dying daily. So many people that are traumatized and through atrocities, through everything. Where is the concern and the mercy for them? Where is the concern for a nation to cry out for mercy? I know there are things that are being revealed right now that are like only the tip of the iceberg. God took a particular man and told me how evil this man was, and that I had to pray uh, uh, 3 days, fast and pray. I thought because that man was able to go into an office that, well, my prayers weren't answered. That's what I thought. But I found out, no, God wanted the day to come where it's all going to be revealed what this man has done and how bad it really is. Because the people who follow this kind of government, this kind of whatever, they are going to be ashamed for following the propaganda on the news. They're going to be they're going to be put to an open shame of what they were listening to and what they believed, and proving how deceived they really are. You think that's not going to cause them to be ashamed? Of course it will. If they have anything inside of them at all, people don't do things on purpose. They do things because they don't know very often and they don't understand. So please, when you want to know something for your own husband and yourself, call me. I'll help you through it. I'll pray it for you. But I'm not going to give you a whole big bunch of information to teach you so that you can go and do whatever you want to with it with other people. It's not going to work that way. It's not how it works. Learning is scholars, they have all the learning that they've had for years. They're scholars. I'm not the scholar. I am a person by experience that has learned from God. And if you want to learn what I learned, go the same path. Go the way I went. But I guarantee you, if God isn't calling you to do that, you're in real trouble because you're seeking for something that you're not going to obtain because God won't give it to everybody. Because you see, God does not give power to people who are still in the flesh, still seeking for more, still seeking. I don't understand people today more than ever. They seek out everything just the way Isaiah says in 58 not to do. They seek out so that they can fight, so they can be heard on high, so God can prove that they have God. This is crazy. It really is. What good does it do you if you prove that you've got God? What good does it do you if you prove that God is with you? What good does that do? How does that help someone else? Oh, you can go and preach and teach something you don't know. None of it makes sense to me. So if you want to help, I don't. I'm right there. I told you. There are those that all of their lifetime were in bondage. And the second they could see it, because you see, recognizing God is one of the most important things in your life, but recognizing where the enemy is, believe you me, he has run from me in seconds, the second I can see him, as soon as I found him out. So take this to heart. I didn't want to put out this video because I'm not ready for it yet. But because you're asking me questions, I can only answer this way. I can only tell you, be patient. Say, oh, I'm ready to do this. Are you? Are you? If you were ready, you'd be more patient. If you were ready, you would go the only path that God has given you. And that is to sit down and talk to somebody that can help you out of that one thing. That's the one that's holding everything. Outside of that, I can only pray for you that you find out what you need